So it is a real delight to be up at the beautiful Tsugawa Nursery in Woodland, Washington. I'm here with you, Brian, and we're going to be talking about vines because they really, a lot of people are interested in vines, it seems like lately.
Yeah, it seems like this year, more than ever, we seem to be getting a lot of calls. Vines maybe attracting hummingbirds and wildlife, or what can I do with my fence? Vines are always a good fill. I mean, they cover a large area. They usually are pretty easily managed too. Just a little pruning and keep them under control.
So let's just jump right in. Tell me about this one because it kind of looks like some kind of a honeysuckle.
That's right. This one was Mandarin. It's just a great honeysuckle with that orangish, pretty much bright orange to yellow, but the tubular flower pretty much will always be a great attraction for the hummingbirds.
Well, and I remember when I was young, which was so long ago, the only real honeysuckle we had was just the beautiful fragrant hulls, which was kind of a white, but they've done some amazing work on the colors now.
Oh yeah, there's I don't know how many new ones there are there, but they've been some new releases with some of these fancy names and stuff, but bottom line, they're such a versatile vine, many different colors. They usually are going to be partially deciduous or all fully losing all their leaves, but you can see the aggressiveness. Just this year, you got this great spurge of growth that would fill out.
So if you want to cover a lot of space quick, this would be an option for you.
This would be on the
top
sun? 5 list. You bet. Yeah, they can go full to part sun.
And speaking of plants, though, that don't want sun, this is a clematis, but it can actually tolerate some shade.
That's right. Evergreen clematis, fragrant flowers. There's a couple of varieties with them, that are offered, but bottom line, evergreen, so kind of susceptible to some of those harsh winter conditions.
Yeah.
But outside of that, it's a winner because it really does. It covers just like the regular clematis. Does keep its leaves. There's not too many evergreen vines out there.
No, there really isn't. That's true.
That's
a wonder. But then, of course, you still have a good selection of the regular clematis that we're used to.
Yep. A lot of people, mix and intertwine, have a couple different colors. You can get some bloom times. You can get some fragrances, but any two clematis is a great mix.
And that makes sense because you can also have, I know that the evergreen tends to bloom kind of early,
yes.
So you could even have a longer bloom time if you mix them up.
You could have a very long bloom schedule on it to fill your wall, trellis, or whatever you're trying to do.
Now, Brian, tell me about this because I love it. I love that I thought I saw, there are some blooms right there coming on it already.
Yep. Akibat Vines, there's probably, I don't know, we carry 2 or 3 varieties, and I'm sure there's many more, but it is a great, to me, that's just an attractive foliage. What is it? Got the little 5 petals on there. And to me, it's just nice, what we would call just a nice cheery little foliage on it. It doesn't really have too broad a leaf, but the foliage alone is pretty nice on it.
And that's the growth so far.
That would be so far.
That's a lot.
Yes, it is. That would be just from this spring's growth, and it's got all summer long, so you can see another 2 to 3 feet of growth to follow after that.
And then, of course, it's hard to not think about wisterias when you see vines.
Another versatile plant. You can actually get a tree form out of this. Sometimes you can either put a stake on it, get a nice little 3, 4, 5 foot standard on it, let all your side branches come off.
And look at this. This one almost is already a tree form.
They are grafted forms of wisteria too, most of them. And those probably has something to do with the blooming of the wisterias versus seed grown or cutting grown. The grafted wisterias will give you probably a little more advantage of getting this much flower off them.
And then I noticed this, and I would be remiss if I didn't bring up jasmine. This is a jasmine, right?
Yep, that's probably the most fragrant of all the vines. It would have to definitely be. There's a lot of jasmines again, but this is the white star jasmine, probably the best chance of having a jasmine do well. Protected area, another evergreen foliage, so you're going to have them harsh conditions that usually beat up the foliage pretty good, but a normal winter, it'll look
and
fine.
The fragrance is worth any effort you have to put in.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to go over about some of the ways, because a lot of times I've heard, different viewers say, well, I go in and they give me much too small of a trellis. So you really need to think about the size of vines before you get trellises, right?
For freestanding, you can stake them. You could, there's all sorts of support systems out there. This is kind of a miniature version. It's 3 foot tall because you're going to poke that in the ground. But there's obelisks, there's I mean, on and on and on, these different type of shapes. But one thing to think about is if they are deciduous, you're going to see nothing in the winter unless you have an attractive
something to see underneath it.
That's right.
And then I've got to bring this up because, of course, I knew your mother, Mabel, years ago.
Yes.
And this was literally her wisteria, wasn't it?
It is the trademark for my mother there. Actually, it was lost wisteria from many seasons ago that was overgrown and didn't know what to do with it. And it was, a salesperson was asked, do something with this. And so the idea was, well, I don't know, Mabel, what do you want me to do? And he just kind of whipped up a little braid and he goes, here, how's that? And
how long ago was that?
That had to be 25 years ago when this was first
Well, so
done.
this is a clear example. If you want vines and you're thinking, I really would love to get into vines, but I don't have a lot of space or I don't know what to do with them, one of the things for a lot of vines you can do is just turn them into a tree-formed item and just easy to prune, take care of.
Well, that's what encourages all the flowers. When you're pruning I'd say the end of June, July is pretty much a good time to prune back all that foliage that's overgrown 6-8 foot, and you'll get blooms every year.
And that's absolutely beautiful. Well, there are so many vines available at garden centers, and I can't think of a better place to come on out up here to Woodland, Washington, to Tsugawa's. Talk to them about the vines that would work best for you. Go to gardentime.tv. We'll click you over to their website. Thank you so much, Brian.
Thanks,
Always
William.
a pleasure, my friend.
Yep.